Are you aware that 70% of pastors constantly fight depression and burnout for the frustration experienced as a result of ministry workload, discouragement, and pressure? We help leaders grow healthy churches. We are excellent at what we do, and we are fast becoming the best of the very best. Magnicraft Consulting is set up to help both small and large-sized churches become healthier by using proven diagnostics tools, effective retention strategies. We give the right and appropriate and professional advice. We are the certified church consultants with the Society of Church Consulting in the United States of America. Trust us to help you grow. Don't wait till it's too late. You will be glad you did. Call us now on 0802-324-2258. Email contact@magnicraftconsulting.com or magnicraftconsulting@gmail.com. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram @Magnicraft Limited. Magnicraft Consulting, doing church God's way. Hello. Welcome to Monday Morning Matters live broadcast show brought to you by Magnicraft Consulting Team, anchored by Niyi Dunmade, a certified church consultant with the Society for Church Consulting in the U.S. Here, each Monday of every week, we address important, relevant, and actionable topics of interest that will help you and your church grow healthier. And now, meet your host, Niyi Dunmade.
Welcome to Monday Morning Matters from the city of Abuja. Today is September 8th, and we're going to be talking on from manager to multiplier. From manager to multiplier. Today is the 8th of September 2025. I'm going to talk on from manager to multiplier. Welcome everyone to this Monday Morning Matters in the month of September. You're going to get value for every time spent here. Monday Morning Matters has been coming your way over 6 years. And if you go on our YouTube channel, you should be able to get quite a lot of information from there. Let's welcome everyone to this Facebook Live broadcast show on YouTube channel. We believe that you're going to get value. Thank you for hooking up with us. We are glad you are part of this live broadcast show. My name is Niyi Dunmade. I'm the founder and the CEO of Magnicraft Consulting. Yes, my name is Niyi Dunmade. I'm the founder and the CEO of Magnicraft Consulting. Yes, let me tell you a little bit about Magnicraft Consulting. Now, Magnicraft Consulting is a church consulting firm that helps local churches to grow healthier through empirical assessment, revitalization, trainings, and strategic blueprint. Our vision is to be the leading church health consultancy that creates actionable, sustainable, adaptable solution. I'm also a certified church consultant with the Society for Church Consulting and Church Consultation University, both in the U.S. I'm also your host every Mondays on Facebook Live broadcast show and on YouTube channel every Monday, 7 a.m. Nigerian time or West African time or GMT+1. I'm also known as a church health guide of the 21st century. Let me tell you a big thank you to everyone who has been liking our posts, telling us how timely our content is. I always want to tell you thank you. Always, I must not come with a new content without just telling you a big thank you for just interacting with us. And so we're going to talk about from manager to multiplier. From manager to multiplier. Today we're going to be talking that, and we're going to be looking at what we want to discuss on shifting into apostolic leadership. Because the truth about it is that the church is not supposed to pride in attendance. That's not what the church is called to. The church is called to mature disciples who will be sent to the world to preach the gospel. And so let's pay some bills and then we'll come back to the juice of the day. This is Monday Morning Matters coming your way all the way from the city of Abuja in Nigeria by Niyi Dunmade, a certified church consultant. And we believe that our expertise can be of great benefits to you. Last week, Monday, we had we had you can't do it alone. Okay, you need other persons to be on board, and today we're going to be talking about from manager to multiplier, unlocking that leadership potential. All right, and then next week Monday we're going to talk about the disciple making church, and then fourth Monday of the month of September, healthy church, healthy leaders. If you want to become a healthy church, the leader has just to be healthy. All right, and then we're going to talk on the last Monday, which is discover global lessons for local churches today. So there are certain lessons we're going to learn from global churches that are doing well and they are doing and they are healthy. And so please, Dr. Tom Rainer, he's been able to come down, or for any Nigerian pastor and every African pastor, you want to become a certified church consultant. You want to be well trained, well empowered, well equipped, and then you want to be able to help your own church revitalize, grow, become healthy. Reach out to me. Let's see how. And you also want to create a side gig income for yourself. Let us have your conversation in any of our social media handles, or you can call them directly, or you get my email address or my phone number on the screen. I'm sure you're going to get more than an answer from me. 3 books I've written: Church Retention, Pathway to Growth. Boston Church Growth Meet is going to be available in Roving Heights stores nationwide. It's also on Amazon. Please make sure that you get these books. I may not be able to go everywhere, but please, these books can go places that I cannot go to. I mean, there are places that my books have gone to, like Boston Church Growth Meet, got into South Africa, and of course, it was a massive impact for those pastors over there. Please, the last one is data-driven leadership, and it's going to help you be able to know the kind of data to be able to put on the table so that I can make some good quality decisions. Okay, go on our YouTube channel. You're going to get a lot of over 315 videos in that place. So make sure you get there to be able to get all the. So today, the objective of this live broadcast is to guide pastors and church leaders in transitioning from being a manager of programs, tasks of the church to multiplier of people, influence, and kingdom impact. The thing is, God called the church to make influence and impact, kingdom impact in the community. And so we don't want to just get people to church, because when the church is small, the church is heavily on one person trying to do leadership and management. But we want to have a situation whereby you understand that transition, that game changer. Today's focus is all about a game changer where you shift from manager to multiplier. You shift from manager to multiplier. Management sustains, but multiplication expands. Okay, one thing is that management keeps the status quo, but multiplication is what God wants. And the truth is that the church doesn't just need managers, it needs apostolic leaders. That's why in Acts chapter 6, they were able to set up deacons to take over the business of serving tables, while the apostles dwell more on the prayer and the ministry of the word. And that's the only way you can multiply the influence and raise others to lead in areas you cannot lead because you are limited in number. And so here's the big question. Are you maintaining what God gave you, or you are multiplying it? I want to believe that God will always be very happy to the one he has given talent and abilities, that he has used those talent and abilities to multiply them. God is always magnanimous to that person who doesn't just maintains or manages, but multiplies whatever God has given him. Now, the difference between managers and multipliers: managers focus on maintaining the status quo, maintaining systems, and avoiding problems. They are always avoiding risk. But see, leadership knows how to take risk. Okay, think in terms of tasks, schedules, and short-term efficiency. Value order. That's what managers do. They want things to be done procedural. They want these things to be done in order. Value order above innovation. Okay, keeping Sunday service running, but never raising new leaders That's what managers do. And so multipliers are more of leaders. They focus on releasing people and creating opportunities. Now think long term, kingdom legacy, not just weekly activities. We need to understand that multipliers value growth or above control. All right. Jesus didn't just manage the disciples, he multiplied them into apostles who raised and reached the nations. That is what we are supposed to be. I mean, when you have a church and you have pastors, you should have someone in charge or who is reaching out to nations, who are being empowered to go to the nations. And that's what multipliers effect is. Management is about stewardship of what is, while multiplication is about the vision for what could be. And so multipliers are always thinking about the future, while managers are always making sure that they maintain what is going on and the present. Then the biblical model for multiplication, we know in Genesis chapter 1 verse 28, God commanded that we should be fruitful and multiply, not just maintain. The mandate from Genesis chapter 1 to man was that to what? To be fruitful and to multiply. To be fruitful and to multiply. Matthew chapter 28 verse 19 to 20, that's the Great Commission. He said, go make disciples of all nations. And that sounds like multiplication. It's not just about maintenance. It's about multiplying yourself as a disciple, multiplying yourself and as an apostle. And so in 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 2, Paul was admonishing Timothy. He said, entrust to faithful men who will teach others also. All right, 4 generations of multiplication in one verse. Okay, who will teach others also. So you can see that the things that Paul knew can only stand the test of legacy if Timothy was able to take what Paul delivered to him and was able to deliver them to others. Okay, look at the way multipliers work. Moses and Joshua. Moses managed Israel, but he could not take them to the promised land, but also multiplied by preparing Joshua, who was able to get the spies to motivate their path into the Canaan land. Paul and Timothy and Titus is another relationship. Paul raised and released leaders who built churches in several nations at that time. Jesus and the 12, he didn't just keep them around. He sent them out 2 by 2. He sent them out. And when he was ascended, you could see that they were able to go to certain areas in Samaria, Judah, and the uttermost part of the earth. Great leaders leave behind more leaders. Okay, when you die, your leadership does not die because you have been able to raise leaders behind you who to take over the torch, take over the mantle, and not just maintaining the meetings that you have created, but people to lead the continuous multiplication that is needed in your church. And now, how do you shift from manager to multiplier? Shift your mindset. The mindset of a manager is different from the mindset of a multiplier. Ask not, how can I get this done? That's what managers do. I mean, I've been that shoe as a church administrator. My pastor will just make an announcement, and the thing that comes to my mind is, how can we get this done? Sometimes it just gets us to begin to plan, begin to look at what we can put on ground to make sure that whatever he has said is. But then don't ask that kind of question. How can we get this done? Ask, how can I empower to get this done? All right, you switch over to multiplier to find out, okay, instead of you seeing a task to be done, how can you begin to equip and empower people so that that thing can be done as a team? Multipliers see tasks as training opportunities to disciple people. Number 2, invest in people, not in programs. I know churches are so heavily on programs. They try to drive so much funds on programs, but you see, programs does not just help in terms of discipleship. You just have to find a way of creating training platforms and invest in people, not just having programs. Don't only organize events. Develop leaders who can lead them. All right, develop leaders who can lead those events. All right, instead of running every outreach program yourself, that's a manager. Shift by equipping a team to plan and execute and lead a big day event. Okay, now number 3 is delegate and develop. Okay, the delegation isn't dumping. Okay, isn't dumping. I'm a proponent of the fact that the set man needs to do what he cannot delegate. Okay, when you begin to do things you can delegate, there's a likelihood that you might go into micromanaging. All right, so but delegating isn't dumping, it is discipleship. Now, give responsibility with mentorship, mentoring. All right, allow for mistakes. Don't think that the way people, most of the time, people who are disciplers want to disciple people without not allowing them to make mistakes. But I can tell you that most of the time, people who make mistakes and fail do actually learn more than people who don't have those kind of things in their walk with you as a protege. So the mistakes and failures are part of the growth. I mean, for me to be a fantastic church consultant today, I can tell you I've made a lot of mistakes, trying this, trying that. I've had a lot of failures. Okay, in time past, and to be candid, I've been able to learn from failures more than success. Number 4, build multiplication systems. Okay, platforms that will multiply leaders, create leadership pipeline, create a healthy onboarding process, create a mentorship platform that people can be able to get in touch with you, and so create a releasing clause to get people into the nation, because you can't be equipping so much and they are not released to go into the nation to do so much. So use your structures like small groups to multiply shepherding opportunities. Always ask, what if I wasn't here in the next 6 months? What will happen to my church? All right. Would this still be done in this church? Would this church still grow without my impact? Number 5, measure multiplication, not just attendance. God did not call the church to count attendance. God did not call the church to make sure that we increase attendance. In fact, for me as a church consultant, if you come with me and say my church is 7,500, it doesn't move me at all. I don't consider your attendance as a tool of health. Okay, you can be 10,000 and you are still unhealtdy. You can be 200 and you are still unhealthy. You can be 15 and still be healthy. Okay, so the attendance is not a benchmark that you are healthy or unhealthy. It's just about the discipleship that you have in your church. Okay, so how many leaders are being raised? Those are the kind of things you need to begin to count in your church. How many disciples have we raised? How many disciples is on the path of maturity? How many disciples are making disciples? Okay, you see, one thing is I've seen churches where they have a lot of disciples, they are not making disciples, and they're not fulfilling the Great Commission and the Great Commandment. How many ministries are being released, okay, into the community to make impact? So managers add, but then we need to start from there, but we need to go into multiplication, because multiplication is compounded addition, but multipliers multiply. Apostolic leaders reproduce themselves in others. So we need to encourage ourselves that there's a lot of reward in multiplication. There's a lot of reward in having a lot of people who will be able to plug and play into what you need to be doing as a pastor. You need to build that legacy. You need to build in sustainability. You also need to create that capacity so that you'll be able to go up into prayer and the ministry of the word, instead of you trying to serve tables, do prayer and the ministry of the word, which will not bring out the best in your life. You see, one of the things I told a pastor, I said, the day you get your mind away from management, general issues in the church, you're not talking about the diesel, you're not talking about NEPA bills, light bills, you're not talking about the logistics and the operational side of the job. You're not thinking about it, but you're concentrating on prayer and the ministry of word. Then you are creating that capacity and you are fulfilling God's kingdom agenda. Remember, the church is not a monument to be managed to getting attendance. It is a movement to multiply and mature disciples. Okay, I'm going to repeat. The church is not a monument to be managed to attract attendance, but it is a movement to be multiplied to disciple, to make the mature disciples. And so I want to pray for you today. Lord, every pastor, every church leader listening to me, deliver them from the trap of micromanagement, from control and small thinking. Give them the grace to shift from manager to multiplier. Help them to see disciples not just a task, but at leaders, not just laborers, but to be seen as potential leaders. May their impact ripple through generations in the mighty name of Jesus. Now, I want to end with this quote. You see, you can start small, but you are not bound to think small. I read that from Making It Big from Femi Otedala's book. You can start something small, but what is inside your mind behind that small thing should not be something that we call thinking small. You need to be seen to think big. So leaders, stop managing and start multiplying. Your legacy won't be in how well you run programs, but it's in how well people are raised to maturity as disciples. Okay? Now, if this broadcast blesses you, share it to another pastor, share it to another leader. Also, join us in next Monday Morning Matters, where we're going to be talking about this disciple-making church. Okay, moving from attendance to assignment. You don't want to miss that. You have any church-related questions for me, let's have them in any of the social media handles. Scrolling on the screen, you're going to get more than an answer from me. I mean, people who are chatting with me from all the way from Uyo, from Lagos, Port Harcourt, please, let's get the conversation going. Perhaps you have any questions for me, let's have them. Please, this video has been helpful to you. Give us a like, do share us your community, and then please do not, and then let me hear from you. Okay, in the comment section, let me hear from you in the comment section what to feel about the things that you have heard. Okay, what to feel about the things that you have heard. I always want to make sure that we give you value for everything. Please make sure you like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel, turn on the notification bell so that when you will come up with a valuable content, you will be notified. All right. We do consultation, we do revitalization, we do trainings, we do strategy planning. Reach out to us so that we can help you help your own church with excellent church consulting for health, vitality, and result. Thank you for the attention, and may God bless each and every one of you on as we approach this week with all your desires. All right. Till I come your way next week, Monday, I say bye-bye. I love you, and God bless you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.